I'm Johnny. This is Pipe Smoking 101. Let's pack a pipe. Here's what we have. All we need to pack a tobacco pipe or smoke a tobacco pipe. This is a 3-in-1 tool you can find online pretty easily. It's got a tamper, it's got a pick, and a scoop for cleaning things out. Fantastic. Really, with one of these tools, you don't need anything else for taking care of your pipe. Here is a regular butane Zippo lighter and tobacco. Doesn't matter what kind of tobacco. I'm using Sir Walter Raleigh because I am a codger blends kind of person. I am going to simply take a pinch of tobacco and drop it directly into the tobacco pipe. I'm going to continue to do this till I fill up to the top. There is a lot of conflicting information about packing a pipe. It is preference. What you like and how you smoke and how you enjoy a pipe is going to differ from everybody else. I'm going to show you the way that I pack a pipe, and I'm also going to tell you what you're looking for here in packing your pipe and why, so you can adjust things accordingly. Now, all I've done so far here is I've filled it up. When it comes to packing a pipe, the way you keep your cherry or that red part lit, the way you keep the ember burning is by having it compacted a bit. You'll notice a cigar will stay lit longer than a pipe in a lot of cases because cigar is tightly packed and tightly compressed, and that makes it easy for it to stay lit. A pipe, on the alternate, can sometimes go out because it's not tightly packed. When you compress a sponge, the top layers compress first and the bottom layers don't compress at all. It's like sitting on a mattress. You'll notice that it compresses along the top. Like, so you put a bowling ball on the mattress, you've seen those commercials. The top layers compress, the bottom layers don't, right? It's the same thing when it comes to packing our pipe. So we want to compress the top layers and not the bottom. We want those bottom layers to not be compressed. We want them to be open because that allows for airflow, and airflow is what we're looking for to be able to smoke the pipe properly. We want to have that top layer, though, at the top here, compressed a little bit so that when we light it, it stays lit the entire time. What I have done here is I've taken my pipe tool and I've compressed that top layer about 1/4 of an inch on this particular pipe down. I don't need a lot of pressure. And you're going to be able to take a draw on it and see what works for you. You're going to have to learn to adjust how you pack a pipe for how you enjoy smoking a pipe. Because all of this is purely subjective. It is completely and utterly, totally subjective. I'm sorry to say. So I've got that properly packed. I only need to have a small area in there that's compressed that's going to be able to help me keep lit. At this point, I am ready to light this. When you light it the first time and you take a puff on it, all you're going to do is create a charred layer at the top, and then you're going to pack it down again. I'll show you what that looks like. Our pipe is packed properly. Now what we're going to do is the first char light, or sometimes called a false light. That's what we're going to do right now. We'll light the pipe. Begin by drawing air through the pipe and into your mouth, and then moving the flame around in a circular motion till you get that good ember going, that cherry red ember like you see here. That deep red ember, that's our first initial light. That's what we're looking for. Now that was our false light. What we're going to do now is we're going to compress that top layer. And I am not compressing it much. I am just knocking the ash back down to the level it was at prior to us lighting. That's all we're looking for there. The initial false light, and then just tamping the ashes back down a little bit. And you can see we're significantly lower than we were originally, but I have not put a lot of pressure on this. There is still plenty of draw. It can still draw easily when I take air through it. Now I'm going to go for the actual light. What I've done here is I've created a barrier of burnt embers that's going to help keep this pipe lit as I smoke it. So we're going to go for the actual first light. And that worked out pretty well. When it comes to actually smoking a pipe, you are not inhaling pipe tobacco. You're not taking it in your lungs. You're taking it in your mouth, you're tasting it, you're pushing it back out. This process is relaxing. It shouldn't be a quick process. A pipe like this should take me 45 plus minutes to smoke, 45 minutes to an hour and 15 maybe. The slower you smoke, the better the tobacco will taste. If you smoke it quickly, it's going to taste burnt. What you want to do while you're doing this to actually smoke it is take the smoke into your mouth, swish it around, and push it back out. You can do this while breathing at the same time. Smoking your pipe, like I'm showing here, with your pipe clenched in the mouth the entire time, is something you're probably going to have to practice at. It's not something that's going to come naturally and not something that's going to come relatively quickly. I normally smoke my pipe with it in my mouth like this while I'm whittling, while I'm wood carving, while I'm doing other activities, even just dancing a little bit like a goofball while I'm showing folks how to smoke a pipe. But when I first started smoking a pipe, I had to hold it in my hand and practice and think about purposefully smoking my pipe. What was I doing? How was I doing it? What was my cadence? When you're smoking a pipe, picture yourself using mouthwash. You can take mouthwash in your mouth, swish it around, and push it back out while still breathing at the same time. This is what you're doing with pipe smoking. You're taking the smoke into your mouth, you're swishing it around, and you're pushing it back out. The goal here is to do this quickly enough that the pipe doesn't go out, but slow enough that you're not generating too much heat on the pipe. If it gets too hot to hold, you're smoking too fast. You should be able to hold your pipe while you smoke it, and then you know you're maintaining a proper cadence. It's going to be a play where you work at it, when you practice and you learn. And when you're first smoking a pipe, a tobacco pipe, for the first few times, you are learning how to smoke a tobacco pipe that you enjoy, the way to do it that you enjoy. I can give you background on what you're looking to do, what you're looking to accomplish, but telling you exactly what to do can often turn a lot of pipe smokers off the hobby because they just say to themselves, I didn't enjoy it that way, and that's apparently the only way to do it. There's not one way to do it. There are many ways of doing this. You can pack it really tightly because maybe you like a tighter draw. You can pack it really loosely. Maybe you like a looser draw. Here's another thing. As I'm talking, this pipe is probably going to go out, and then I'll have to relight it. There's nothing wrong with relighting your pipe. There's nothing wrong with relighting your pipe at all. You've got a lighter. All you do is grab your lighter, and it's relit.
Inconceivable.
When I first started smoking a pipe, I relit my pipe maybe 10 to 15 times a session, probably more. I mean, I relit it all the time as I was learning.
Inconceivable.
Now when I smoke a pipe, I might relight it once if I forget to keep smoking it, or if I'm talking to somebody, my wife comes over and wants to have a conversation, I'll stop smoking the pipe as much and focus on that conversation because she's my wife and I want to interact with her. And so we'll have that conversation, and I go back to my pipe and it's not lit, and I grab the lighter and I just go ahead and relight it. It's not an issue.
Inconceivable. You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
It's not a problem. Don't feel bad. When you're learning to do anything new, you're going to feel a little like you're lost. There's nothing wrong with that. You're going to feel like you don't know exactly what to do. Of course, it's new. It's new to you. You're just learning how to do it. There's nothing wrong with that either. Nothing wrong at all. At first, when you smoke a pipe, you're not going to be able to do other things while smoking a pipe. You'll need to practice your cadence in how you smoke the pipe, how much you draw, when you draw, how you exhale. Spending time to get that done right and developing a habit will enable you to do a myriad of other things while you smoke. When you develop the cadence properly, you're not going to get tongue bite. What is tongue bite? Tongue bite is when your mouth gets so warm that you end up burning your mouth from the heat of the pipe tobacco. You don't want to burn your mouth. To keep that from happening, you elongate the time between puffs. You allow your pipe to stay cooler, where it's cool to the touch, and you can hold it like this while you're smoking it. When you get good at a proper cadence that's slow enough to keep your pipe lit, but not fast enough to get tongue bite, you're going to have that perfect area where then you can whittle, you can read a book, you can watch your kids play their game, you can do whatever it is you want to do with your time and your hands while keeping your pipe clenched and doing whatever it is that you do in life. When I'm driving to work, I can keep my pipe clenched When I'm whittling at my workbench and I'm making carved figures, I make a lot of carved figures. I whittled this guy out of a piece of basswood, and whittling is a very fun hobby for me. I've got a whole other YouTube channel about whittling if you're interested, but it's a fun hobby for me. And I do that while I smoke a pipe. And so getting into that cadence where I can relax into it and smoke and enjoy the smoke and not get tongue bite, that's taken practice. And it's practice that's well purposed, it's well intentioned, and it works out fantastic for me. You can do that too. I can't show you exactly how to avoid tongue bite. Like I can't just show you my cadence and how often I smoke and just show that. For one, it'd be boring. Two, I'm doing things with my mouth that you might not be doing. Let me point out some of those things. You can develop the habit of not just pushing air around your mouth, but also gently out the pipe as well, which will help cool the pipe down while you smoke. Now, with any good pipe, eventually you get to that point where it's done. Your time spent smoking is over, and you end up with just a little bit of ash down there in the bottom. And you want to smoke this all the way down. I mean, that is really far down in there, and we have smoked it all down. If you're smoking a briar pipe, this is a meerschaum pipe, but if you're smoking a briar pipe, you want to make sure that every time you smoke, you're smoking all the way down, because that's how you build carbon cake around the exterior pipe. But that's not for this video. We'll talk about that in a different video. But there we go. That pipe, fully smoked, still cool to the touch. I'm not having any issues with that. It's warm, but it's not warm enough that I can't hold on to it while I smoke the pipe. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for sticking around, watching the end. I really appreciate it. Head over to Instagram, Facebook, give me a like and a follow over there if you will. And stick around in this channel as I produce more pipe content, more cigar content. I'm going to produce all the things that I want to make over here, that I want to share about hobbies that I enjoy outside of wood carving. If you do want to get into wood carving, I got a whole channel about that. Head over there. You'll see links in the description down below as well if you want to take part in that kind of thing. But outside of that, I really appreciate your guys' time. I'll see you next time. Bye.